Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends all around the world, welcome back to another episode of Touchline Banter, the best and your favorite footy podcast on the internet. It's been a little while. We've been a little busy with life, and as you know, both of us work in the service industry, so I'm sure Ruben knows as well. It's been a crazy time of year, but we're back and we're ready to talk a lot of footy. There's a lot of things to break down, and for this episode, we're going to do a deep dive on Real Madrid. Shocker. There's a lot of things going on. Yeah, this is following the loss to Manchester City yesterday in the Champions League. But yeah, lots of things to talk about. But overall, Ruben, how you been? We have a bit of a snowstorm in Toronto in the GTA area. How are things?
I'll be honest, things are pretty bad, man. Like I caught that flu bug that's been going around.
Oh, same. Yeah.
So as you can hear, I'm still a bit sick. So I had
that too.
I don't know if I'll be yelling as much as I probably would have been had we done this a couple weeks ago. A, when my anger was at its peak, and B, when I was a healthy young man in the prime of my life instead of this. Yeah, man, I've been rough dealing with. I was basically, because this weekend I went to visit my parents. Which means I was with my dad watching them lose to Celta Vigo. I was on the couch. I was on the couch, like fucking alternating between a high fever and chills, watching the 2-0 loss. I was like, well, I want to kill myself now. This is awesome.
Boy.
But yeah, so illness hasn't been great, but work and stuff, busy. It's the Christmas season, a lot of holiday parties and events, corporate stuff. You gotta love it. And Real Madrid is just terrorizing me, man. Like it's so crazy, like how much your team being this bad, and like bad in the way that they are currently being, just fucking ruins your life. Like I've been in the trenches, man. Like so, this will be the first episode we put out in a while. Yeah. So I guess like this can fall into here. I've been getting into fucking online arguments. Like,
oh damn, it's bad.
I was on Twitter. This isn't even about Real Madrid. The first one I got into, but this opened the floodgates.
Okay,
but I was on Twitter, and this was like the Marcus Rashford renaissance, which some people still believe is happening. I'm hearing less about it, so clearly he's not doing that well. Yeah. And now that Rafinha's back playing well, what do you know? There's no more minutes for fucking Rashford, because that's like whatever. Who the fuck cares? I don't really care. But I go on Twitter and I get into a fucking argument about Marcus Rashford. Like I'm literally and I have people like I had someone telling me like, "Oh, you're an idiot. He's at Barcelona because he's good, not because of." I'm like, he's at Barcelona because he was cheap and because Man United didn't want him anymore because he hadn't been playing good. Yep. I was like, this is fucking crazy. Like, there's just no world. Like, fucking people gaslight. Like, I got into like literally 20 minutes just on Twitter, just fucking yelling about Marcus
not
Rashford.
Healthy.
No. I followed that up with arguing about Russell fucking Westbrook not being a winning basketball player.
Oh my God.
Then now I'm on the fucking Real Madrid Reddit responding to shit. Like it's been a dark time for me. It's been a dark time.
Just to let you know, if as a person who knows Ruben, if he's arguing about Russell Westbrook, it's either just to fuck with somebody or like we're in dark times, and I think it's dark time. The latter. So, yeah, honestly, I've had a decent amount of debates in like the Real Madrid. I don't know, there's like a Facebook page I'm on about people who I don't think should be in anywhere near the squad. For one who had a good game yesterday, but Danny Ceballos, I'm so tired of him. Fran Garcia, Raul Asensio. I'll get into it more later, but like, damn, like people will die on certain hills. Like, I don't know, for example, I'll die on the hill. This is random. That Kobe's better than LeBron. I'll die on that hill. Yeah. Sure.
I'll die on that.
That's a fair hill to die on, I feel like. Realistically, I'll probably lose the debate. Maybe. I don't know. But to say that Raul Asensio is a Real Madrid player, or Fran Garcia is, and you want to die on that hill.
I mean, like, unless you want to say by technical definition, they're currently wearing a Real Madrid jersey. Like, yeah, that's the only way.
But from what we're seeing, I think a lot of players have Real Madrid jerseys who should be, and you could argue that the manager also, just because you manage Real Madrid or you play at Real Madrid doesn't mean that you are Real Madrid level. That's what I'm trying to get at.
100%.
Yeah. There's a lot of things to break down. I think just with Ruben, I've had my days as well. I think it was the Girona draw or the Elche one when I was at work and I sent Ruben like a whole bunch of messages, and at the end I was like, I don't know why I'm so mad, and like I felt good to vent, and then he's like, dude, just because it's frustrating, it sucks, and I'm like, yeah, honestly, it does. I'm calmer now. I would say I'm calm. Yesterday's game was interesting. I think it was like a microcosm of basically all the shit that's happened in the team. 100%. I'm kind of curious to see where you sit on things. I've had some time to think. I've drawn certain conclusions. I have opinions on certain things. Overall, it's not been great. And I guess where I wanted to start was like, where do you put the blame? Like, if there's a pie chart or if there's percentage, like, how much do you put on the players? How much do you put on Florentino Perez? How much do you put on Xabi Alonso? Because I'm hearing a lot of different things. I'm hearing people saying that if you take Xabi out, it doesn't matter because these players don't play, they don't run, they don't press. Vinny Jr. is the problem. Mbappe is the problem. It's a bunch of prima donnas and and just too many egos. I'm hearing Florentino Perez is the problem, that he built a squad that's fractured, that isn't built correctly, and we know the Xabi Alonso hate and all the stuff that's going on there, and stuff that we said about him. So yeah, go ahead. Let me know what you think. Where do you sit on everything? Because yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot to the things to break down overall.
Man, it's like I said, like at different times during the month and a half or whatever that's happened, I would have had a lot of different things to say. It's all kind of crystallized in different ways now. And I've kind of gone through like the 5 stages of grief. So let me start off by saying this. Like, I think overlooked in a lot of the conversations about whose fault it is and whatever, I'm glad you brought them up, because people don't, like, every so often you'll see a post, and obviously you're in that Facebook group. I keep up on the Reddit. I have the WhatsApp group that I'm in. And like every so often someone will be like, yeah, this is also on the board because we don't have the bodies. And I mean, like, at this point now, we're starting to have an injury track record that's genuinely worrying. Like, yeah, like and now we have a new manager, and I think he has on some level a different physio team, like a team that's trying to get these guys physically prepared, and the issues are still cropping up. So I don't really know what the answer is there, but the fact that we're once again leaning this hard on Raul Asensio and Rudiger after what happened last year is not good, and it does not suggest good squad planning. And look, I understand that Real Madrid is not a state-owned club, and there's not infinite pools of money, despite what the perception is. Like, Real Madrid have spent less than most of the Premier League clubs in the past like 10 years or so. But it is like it's institutional failure that we don't have other backups at center back or right back or left back even. Like, I mean, especially like we're not even trying people from the academy. Like, and I understand, like, okay, so I guess, yeah, I'll break up the pie chart, then I'll get into my whole thing. I think Florentino Perez deserves 30% of this at the very least, whether it's because of the squad building and not having the bodies. And let's face it, like, members of Mbappe FC may not like to hear it. And I literally was getting into an argument with my friend Jake yesterday because he's a France fan, and obviously everyone sees the numbers that Mbappe is getting. Mbappe has not made this team better. You can say that Mbappe is scoring at a prolific rate. You can say that Mbappe is showing once again that he has the ability to be the best player in the world. I agree with both of those things. He's clearly showing that he's on form. He's creating chances out of nothing for the most part. Now, is his record in big games a little concerning? Yes, because he didn't play good against Liverpool. He didn't really play good against Atletico Madrid. But
it was just Barcelona. But
he did well against Barca, and obviously he wasn't able to take part in this match. He must have been really injured because there's no way. At the end, I thought Xavi was going to throw me out there. He was throwing fucking everybody out there. So if Mbappe had 2 good legs, he would have been out there.
I have to say one thing. I swear to God, I think yesterday the tactics in the second half, especially, I'll get to this more in depth, but I think Xabi Alonso would have joined ISIS if it meant that Real Madrid scored a goal.
100%.
It just basically went, fucking score a goal. Let's just do it. Like, I don't
bro, yeah, 100%. So I think a 30% blame has to go on Florentino Perez. Like, it has to. And then another 30% has to be for the players. Look, I'm always one here saying, like, the players are important, ultimately, whatever. They aren't performing. We can have debates over why they're not performing or not, and I'll get into that, and I'll get into my thoughts and my feelings and my opinions on some of the shit that people are saying. But to act like they don't have blame, and I mean all of them, because even the people that are defending Mbappe and who are like, well, he's okay, like, you can't say, oh, these are all a bunch of spoiled babies, but Mbappe's doing really good. If he's going to be a leader, if he really is, and like, let's face it, at this point, he's proven he's the best player on the squad. Consistently right now, numbers-wise. I don't think he's the best player on the squad, by the way. I still think that's Jude, but whatever. Numbers-wise, it's hard to deny Kylian Mbappe is dragging this team with goals. Not dragging them anywhere good, mind you. We're 2 wins out of the last 8, and he's played in fucking 7 of those. But whatever. He's dragging us. That to be said, if he can't be a leader in the vocal side, then he deserves criticism for that as well. He's not new. He's been there for a year. If Xavi's system is better suited for him, then he has to be honest and work for that system the same way that it's working for him. And he is not. He's just not. Vinicius. I love Vinicius. I will always love Vinicius. You can't take that away from me. Even if, like I believe, he's going to leave at the end of this summer, or best case scenario, he leaves at the end of next summer on a free. Best case is for him, not for us. But I do think he's going to leave. I don't see a team like. I just don't see how you build this team around the players. I just haven't seen it yet. But he's not doing himself any favors. Yesterday, there were a couple questionable decision-making. His passing wasn't great. Now, I have things I will say in his defense. I have things that I can say. But he's not getting it done. You look at Rodrigo. People are ready to fucking throw Rodrigo out of the Bernabeu in a fucking cannon, and he showed up yesterday and scored a banger and played well.
Best player on the pitch, in my opinion.
Like, you know what I mean? So, like, he had a moment and he had an opportunity, did it. Whatever. So, like, the players as a whole have to be doing better. Our defense, for how much we invested, and we should have invested more, obviously, but, like, we did get a new left back, a new center back, a new right back. It's still a problem. We can't defend corners. We can't defend set pieces. We look too leaky. Like, it's crazy. Anyways, so 30-30, and then 40 has to be for Xabi Alonso. I think it's crazy the amount of posts I see like, oh, these players, they're leaving Xabi out to dry. Xabi is such a good coach. Xabi is such a great coach. And, like, Real Madrid fans don't understand how great a coach they have. Just how great. Like, Xabi Alonso came down from the heavens, having done the best thing a coach can do, win the Bundesliga. That's what he did. Win the Bundesliga. Having done the best thing a coach can do. Oh, sorry, and the German Cup. Having done the best thing a coach can do, win 2 German trophies. And they're not even appreciative of the fact that he won those trophies. And he's such a genius. Like, what the fuck are we doing, man? Like, I don't understand. It fucking fires me up because I have other people telling me. Like, I have a friend who's an Arsenal fan who's like, yeah, well, I think that, like, it's just the players just turning their back. I'm like, yeah, but whose job is it to get the players on fucking page? Like, so here's where I'll start my rant. If you are like many of the people that believe that this is 100% on the players, that they are bad attitude, but okay, fuck it. Let's play that game. Tell me who you want to get rid of. And according to most of the comments, not everyone's agreed, by the way. Some people love Jude Bellingham and hate Vinicius, Rodrigo, fucking Valverde, and whoever the fuck. And then other people are like, no. We have to keep Mbappe, Goulet, and Valverde, but fucking Bellingham, Vinicius, and Rodrigo can. So no one fucking agrees, first of all. Everyone thinks a different player is the baby or the problem or the entitled one. So that should tell you right off the jump that how you're approaching this is not fucking logical. You're doing it off of pure emotion and pure just like, oh, I hate this player, or I never rated how they played, or like they're getting in the way of a player that I really like, so shut the fuck up. But okay, let's say we get rid of all the babies. Whoever you think the babies are, fuck it. Let's get rid of Jude. Let's get rid of Vinicius. Let's get rid of Rodrigo. Let's get rid of Valverde. Let's get rid of fucking Camavinga because you think he's too injured. Let's say all 5 of those. And because everybody else is either new or they're clearly not a baby. They're just not at the level, I guess. Like, you know, I don't think anyone's calling Fran a baby. He's just bad. Like, he's just not good enough.
I have other words for Fran, but yeah, he wouldn't be one of them.
He's just not a good enough left back to play, which we said. I mean, we said it last year. We said it during the Club World Cup that he had a better moment, but then obviously we played PSG and he was fucking shambles. So, like, we always knew this is what he was. Whatever. So let's say we get rid of those 5. How many 10s are just like walking around better than Jude Bellingham? You know, better than that, because people who usually want to get rid of Jude want Goulet to be the 10 because they think this is 2010 or something, and like he's Ozil. But yeah, let's pretend. Okay, so Ozil will be the 10. How many midfielders do you think exist out there that can play every position in the midfield and have that strength and that touch and that grace and that speed? Because you have to find a replacement for him, and you have to find a replacement for Camavinga. Oh, and like, by the way, how many left wingers are there? Oh, okay, we'll push Mbappe out to the left wing. How many strikers are there right now in world football that you can buy that you think are at this level? Better that, all these players that are at this level, you said you don't want babies. Okay, so how many of these elite superstar talents are you going to find that love to press all the time, that love to work off the ball, that have no ego, and apparently will just do whatever the fuck Xabi Alonso does on his little fucking board? Because that's what you're asking for. And if you say, Ruben, we'll look at PSG. Let's look at PSG. Last year, they caught lightning in a bottle. And obviously, that team is really great. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like they're not great and they didn't achieve what they achieved. They obviously did, but we said it when Dembele won the Ballon d'Or. Is he the best player in the world right now? No. Did he play like the best player in the world last year? Yes, on balance he did. We believed that and he won. PSG currently are in second place in the French league, a league that is basically a fucking practice run for them. Like, they're supposed to win. They spend more money than everybody. They got held 0-0 just yesterday by Atletico Bilbao, a team in this fucking state beat 3-0.
Yeah.
So those players on PSG that you're like, yeah, look at Luis Enrique. He got rid of Mbappe, and he got all these guys who will press and work. Yeah, Kvaratskhelia, I'm sure, is pressing and working. Fucking Gonzalo Ramos, I'm sure he's pressing and working. Dembele, when he's out there, because he's been injured a lot again, I'm sure he's pressing and working. Is PSG still a juggernaut? No. So where are these fucking players that you think are going to just appear? Like, A, are going to appear. B, the teams are going to want to sell them. C, teams are going to want to sell them to us. And D, what money do you think they're going to want to sell them to us for? They're going to give us to them on a free, on a cheap? Like, we're talking fucking nonsense. So, look, man, we've criticized Pep Guardiola a lot for his man management. We've pointed out that players like Players like Eto'o and Zlatan Ibrahimovic have fell out with him. Fucking recently, who is it? Colo Torres saying that he doesn't see Pep as a man. Like, it's not the first time. We've seen this before. Okay, we've always said Pep needs little schoolboys, little fucking trinkets. And that's been true. It has been true. If that's what Xavi wants, okay, then we're going to... let me tell you something. If that's what Xavi wants, he picked the wrong club straight out. But, two, that means that Real Madrid is going to have to fundamentally change what it is as a club. Not just who's on the 11. We have to get the academies all lined up. We have to start investing in a way of playing, and that takes years to develop. So I hope you guys don't want to win anything important for the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because when Pep went to City, part of the reason he went is because the second that City got bought by the Saudis, they started investing. And when they realized they wanted Pep, they're like, you know what? We're going to start taking all of Pep's coaches that leave his system, that want to go to other places or whatever. We're going to start bringing them here. We're going to start giving them money. We're going to build what Pep likes. This little fucking science experiment of a club. We're going to soak up all the good academy players from nearby, and we're going to drill them, and we're going to play Pep football from top down. So by the time he comes here, he just fucking slides in, and we're already playing Pep football. We already know how to do that. We're bringing up people who have played in that system. If you want that for Real Madrid, Godspeed. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen just because you got rid of all the players. It's not. It takes time to build that. It takes a lot of time to build that. So if you really think it's the players, Godspeed. But whose job is it to get them on form? Like, I don't understand why people... And, like, I try to be as unbiased as I can. I say that all the time. Like, I love Vinicius, and I'm always going to have the biggest blind spot for him because he was my guy. I remember how I felt like when I was right about him, when all he needed to do was clean up his finishing and he would be one of the best players in the world. And he was. And that felt really special to me. And I don't think you can replicate that. But I'm not fucking delusional, man. If he's not playing good, yeah, he's got to hit the bench. Yeah, things have to be rotated. Yeah, things have to be shifted. But I also think, like, Xavi's trying to play a possession-based system with a team that just can't do it. I think the biggest indictments on Xavi, as I've said, and I'll fucking outlay again, he started off his managerial tenure by being like, we're going to be a flexible team, different approaches, blah, 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 blah. We've not had that. Just not. We've been playing the same fucking dumb system that isn't working. He said this would be a meritocracy. We haven't been. Gonzalo Garcia had his first real run yesterday, and I thought he did well. He didn't do perfect. They could have gotten the ball in some spots. But, you know, one play that stuck out for me, it was late in the first half. It was like a high ball from Courtois. He was battling with the center back, and Vinny was kind of off of his shoulder, and he touched it towards Vinny with his head or his shoulder. Vinny had some space to move. And I was like, yeah, because he's playing it like a 9. He was using his body and his strength, and he wasn't concerned with him getting the ball and turning like Mbappe would have been. He was just trying to set up something else. He played very Benzema-like in my mind, where he was dropping lower than Vinny, allowing Vinny to run past him and trying to do stuff like that. It didn't really always come off because they're not used to playing that system because, you know, Xavi basically tried it out of desperation yesterday. But these are things that we could have worked on, whatever. So no meritocracy because Gonzalo Garcia had the Club World Cup that he did, and he only really got to play yesterday for the first time. Endrick, who is a player who when he's alive.
He's alive.
Well, yeah, he's alive. But, like, he almost scored, and he was doing good things when he was out there. I'm like, this guy couldn't get any run, like, in all those games where we need him. And, you know, like, people can think, like, well, Ruben, you just hate Mbappe because of this. Okay, Mbappe's hurt now. I thought part of the rotations and the swap people out was to keep people healthy. He hasn't done that to the player that everyone says is our most important player. Did we need Mbappe to beat Celta Vigo? We shouldn't.
No.
So where's the meritocracy? Arda Güler once again comes in, does nothing. And save me, like, our defense. I see all the stuff. Oh, he actually won this many duels. If you have to, actually, like, I hate when people use stats to try to take away what we see with our eyes. If I see with my eyes that a player is not affecting the game, like, there are only certain players in the history of world football where you can say, like, okay, no, the eye test doesn't really do them a good enough credit because they're off the ball so much and their positioning is so important. Arda's not that player. He's only really good when he's on the ball. So you shouldn't need stats to try to prove to me that he had an impact on the game. I should see that he had an impact on the game and then be like, oh, do the stats back it up?
Yeah.
Like, because if you're just being like, actually, according to the numbers, he won 4 duels in the midfield. And if you look at the possession chart, it actually went up 5% in form of Real Madrid. Let's forget the fact that he came in and Foden went out for City and Haaland went out for City. Like, City started playing differently. So those things also affect games. No, let's just focus on the fact that Arda Güler went in that sun. Like, also, Xavi threw on like 5 other attacking players. So the whole game was different. Like, City was playing more defensively. So the meritocracy's gone. He said Rodrigo was only going to be a left winger in the biggest game of the season due to partly due to injury, partly due to desperation. Rodrigo, right wing against Manchester City, as we've seen many, many years. And he scored. This guy who Xavi was so ready to freeze out and not only did he score, had a much better game than Vinny on both like attacking and defending.
Yeah, both ends.
So that guy can't play at all. We can't find any space for that guy.
Nope. Sorry. Nope.
Okay. And then, he wants to play his style of football, possession-based football. I think the final nail in the coffin for me was yesterday we played a Carlo system. We played a 4-4-2 counter-attacking system with the power of friendship. I was like, I literally saw the lineup, and then I saw the first 5 minutes. I was like, oh, this is just Carlo ball.
Yeah.
I was like, word. Okay, I'm glad that we spent all this money to get right back to where we were a year ago.
Yeah. We have taken the most convoluted path. Like, if we drew a picture, it would be the most convoluted path with U-turns and unnecessary turns and just go right back in a circle, back to right where we were. For everybody who says that Carlo Ancelotti doesn't understand tactics, Carlo Ancelotti knew exactly why. With a worse team, because of injuries and form and signings, with a worse team, he knew why this team can only play in the most basic and just 4-4-2. It was the most basic and the best execution of a 4-4-2. You press high when you can, and you drop back very quickly when you need to, especially against a team against City. And it worked. It was the best game we played.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
No. I mean, that to me, that should tell you everything. And I'll wrap up on the Xavi thing by saying, like, look, I'm sure he's a great coach. I'm sure but I said this to my friend Graham, and I really believe it. Coaches that have a system, that build a culture, that have an identity, and that are great tactical minds grow on fucking trees. They grow on trees. There's already a host of coaches who are the next, this guy is really smart. They don't all pan out, guys. And I'm not even saying that Xavi won't pan out. If Xavi gets fired, I actually think that if he went to Liverpool, he would do great. Because Liverpool is okay with fucking losing for a while. They are. They went 30 years without winning a league. We'll talk about fucking Carragher and all his shit. But, they're okay with losing. They are. As long as you play with some pride and they can be like, oh, you're a true Scouser and, fucking Liverpool Scouts, not English. And I'm not making fun of you guys. I promise you. It sounds like I'm making fun of you. I'm not. It's a different thing. Your identity is built on different things. It is not built just on winning. You are naturally underdogs. It's why the night at Istanbul is so special. It's why winning the league against City, the fact that your team was so good, but you were running up against a juggernaut that was state sponsored. It all fed into this narrative. And when you finally won, it felt like David beating Goliath, even though you were also spending a ton of fucking money too, and your team was filled with superstars. But that's the narrative. These are the stories that we tell ourselves as fans and as clubs, that we're building our mythos and our identity. So the Liverpool identity is not one of unstoppable winning and a machine. No, you know who has that? City has that now. Manchester United had that for the 90s and the 2000s. It's just like Arsenal's thing is fucking losing. It's coming second. It's like we have a process and an identity, but we always fall short.
That's not a friendly fire. Like, a lot of people are catching shade.
Well, because like I fucking hate when people who aren't fans of teams like mine try to tell me what should be at my team. Because I'm like, no, man. Like, what is okay for you is not okay for over here.
Yeah,
it can't be. Like, it just can't be. Pep Guardiola said something in the press conference yesterday before the game, and he said it to fucking as a mind game bait. He was doing his best fucking Jose. But he said, if I had coached Real Madrid last year and I was in the form that I had with City, I would have been fired after 6 months. And he said it as a joke, and he said it as a needle to fucking Alonso and the board and everything. But he's not wrong. And I think that's what everybody forgets. Like, Rafa Benitez is a Liverpool hero because of the night at Istanbul. Rafa Benitez is the meme that Xavi's getting compared to now at Real Madrid. Yeah. Does that mean Rafa Benitez is not a good coach or not intelligent? No, but he was not a Real Madrid coach. Fabio Capello, respected coach, good history. He is not looked fondly upon in Real Madrid.
Nope.
So it's just different. So it's like Arne Slot's coming under a lot of fire right now, mostly from Mo Salah. But I do think one thing he did in his first season that everyone gave him credit for is that he didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. He looked at what his predecessor did and was like, okay, I have to build a new thing. But we can start by building that new thing alongside the stuff that worked with the old thing. And it seems like Xavi, maybe partly because that was the remit in his head, maybe partly because of the new signings, but he's like, fuck the baby and the bathwater. New baby, new bathwater. Let's go. The baby is Arda Güler. And the bathwater is my tears. But now it's like, we haven't kept anything. And the players lack confidence. They don't have time and practice with each other in real game state situations. So we see mistakes and we see this thing not working. And here we are. And so I'm sure Xavi's a good coach, but I don't think he's a good manager. I think it's really inspiring that a lot of the players took up after him. You know, Rodrigo gave him a hug. Vinicius, Courtois,
Bellingham,
basically every fucking player that matters, except for Valverde. Oh no, I think
he did too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, everybody came out, like, and again, the people who think the players are babies are already trying to spin they're just doing it because they don't want to look bad. Okay, well, at least they're fucking doing it. Like, it could be like I had my friend Graham compared the Vinny thing with the Salah thing. I was like, Salah publicly slated his coach in an interview. Vinny had that one moment in the Classico, which he apologized for. I know he didn't include Xavi in the public apology, and we can debate that at length, what the fuck that means. But he just had that moment.
Yeah. Salah said the coach, the club, like, I've earned my place. We've been anyway.
Publicly, every player is saying the right thing.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how those things are being compared. But anyways, man, I I'll let you go, but it's just I think that Xabi Alonso is being given a lot of credit for winning one Bundesliga in a year where Bayern was not that good. And if people want to say, well, you're just writing revisionist history. No, that was the Bayern that was the year removed from barely beating Dortmund. Jude didn't play in that last game. All Dortmund had to do was beat a different team. There wasn't even fucking Bayern Munich. They just had to win a game, and they didn't. And that's what gave that season ended so poorly. Thomas Tuchel got fired by Bayern for winning the league in a way that was bad. And then that's when they hired Vincent Kompany, who was like their 17th choice. And then they got Harry Kane. And then they had the up and down year that they did because their defense was very poor. It still is, by the way. But that's the Bayern he beat. He didn't beat like Pep Guardiola's Bayern or fucking like Carlos Bayern.
You know,
let's fucking, because everyone's like, well, he beat Bayern in the Bundesliga. All right, we beat Juventus in the Champions League. Right?
Okay.
Is this the Juventus you think we're talking about when we talk about Juventus? Like, get the fuck out. Anyway, I'm sure he's a good coach. He hasn't shown it to us.
I agree. Honestly, I think if Xabi Alonso, and this is no slate to these clubs, this is just to draw a barometer of like where I think the level is. If he coached like an Atalanta or like a Wolves or just like mid-table teams or, I'm thinking of another team. I'm drawing a blank anyway. But just these level teams, I think he would be a great coach. I absolutely think he would be a great coach in those teams. Look at Cesc Fabregas right now with Verona, I think, what he's doing in Italy. He's doing great. But coaching in Serie A and coaching for that team and jumping and coaching in the Bundesliga and going over to from Bayer Leverkusen to Real Madrid is a whole different story. But anyway, that's just on him. But again, I think yesterday's game, I just said it. It was a microcosm and basically of everything that has gone wrong. Because like I said, we have taken the most convoluted path. A U-turn is just the simplest way to go back in the same direction. We have taken the most convoluted path to go back in the same direction. So with the pie chart that you explained, I think mine is basically the same, slightly different. I put a bit more blame on Fiorentino. I think I'm like 40% Fiorentino.
That's fair.
I'm like 35, 40% Xabi Alonso and like 20%, whatever left over for the players. This is why I say it, because let's wind back the clock, like way back, and I'm probably going to need you to help me with this. So after the whole Zidane era and everything, Ronaldo leaves, and then, before that, let's actually go before that. You mentioned like what is the philosophy of each club? Barcelona has their philosophy of their academy, La Mescun club, and all that garbage, and like the Barcelona academy and tiki taka and blah blah whatever. And like you said, Liverpool are known to be underdogs. United, there was the whole United academy and all that stuff there, and the Fergie era and blah blah blah. Arsenal had like the Invincibles and the French wave coming in with Henry and Robert Pires and Arsene Wenger and all that kind of stuff. Every club has its own philosophy. Real Madrid has basically you win. That's it. You win. We have the best players. We draw in the biggest names. A lot of times it doesn't work, but usually it does. And you just enable these players to be in the best positions, the best formations. You need great man managers, i.e. Carlo Ancelotti, i.e. Zinedine Zidane, i.e. Jose Mourinho, even when his peak as well. You need people like that, and you win. Specifically on Mourinho, when Mourinho came in, he came after Capello, if I'm not wrong. He basically came in and brought in this mentality of Real Madrid of losing is not acceptable, and you fight, and we will fight, and we will constantly be a thorn in team sides, and we never quit. And yes, obviously it fell off, and there were players, who he fell out within the dressing room. But Mourinho did a huge amount for the club in terms of mentality and just that spirit of never say die, and we will fight, and losing is unacceptable, and just immense man management. So anyway, with that time, with Fiorentino Perez, who were the signings that we brought in? We got in Zinedine Zidane, who was a Ballon d'Or winner, one of the best players in Serie A. Fast forward, we get Cristiano Ronaldo. It's a record-breaking signing, best player in the world, if just not in the Premier League. And then there was, the Toni Krooses and the Luka Modric, Gareth Bale, Isco, even
Kaká, James.
Thank you so much. Even players didn't work. James, I swear to God,
Schneider,
you just have to, for people like James or I mean, not to slate on the guy too much because he's in pretty well, but even Dean Huijsen, I swear, if you just say in an interview, my dream is to play for Real Madrid, it seems like they'll sign it. I feel like me and you could just say our dream is to play for Real Madrid because they'll just sign anybody. Because James literally scored a goal from half field in the World Cup, and he's like, "Oh what's your dream? My dream is to play for Real Madrid." They signed him. It didn't work. It's not his fault. Again, this is Fiorentino Perez putting Toni Kroos in a 6 role, but that's another story for another day. But anyway, so fast forward a little bit. After that era was Zidane and the whole Champions League triumphs and everything, and then there was Eden Hazard came in.
Yes,
Eden Hazard flops, and then we signed this young kid from Brazil. who's just supposed to be. We're not sure what his potential is, and if you're not following, it's Vinny Jr. We're not sure what his potential is. Hopefully, he's great. He has a lot of pace. He has a lot of flair. He has that dribbling stuff to him. We'll see how he goes. He flops, and because of Carlo Ancelotti, he turns into. Sorry, by he flops, I mean Hazard, but because of Hazard flop, and because of Carlo Ancelotti, and because of other great players around him like Benzema and Kroos and Modric, we create a star in Vinny Jr. So that's where we are. Benzema leaves, and then the whole world basically wants Jude Bellingham. And because the whole world wants Jude Bellingham, and because we basically don't have a tactical director and someone who says, this player fits your team, this player fits your team, Florentino Perez says, okay, we have to get Jude Bellingham. Not to say that he wasn't a good signing and we didn't need a player like that, but it worked because he was basically a unicorn. Because Jude is arguably the best 10 or one of the best midfielders.
He's the best midfielder in the fucking world. Yeah. I hate when people don't acknowledge it.
Yeah, he's the best midfielder in the world. He can defend. He can go forward. He can dribble. And because of his physical traits, he's strong. He's tall, so he can use his physicality. So what did Jude become? Jude became a unicorn, and we had Vinny on the left, Rodrigo on the right. You had Jude doing everything, basically scoring goals and dropping into midfield. But also around him, we had Kroos and Modric and Casemiro was still there, I think. Or no, Tchouaméni was there. Whoever.
Oh no, yeah, because Casemiro left. Yeah.
Yeah. So the squad was much better. So now you have two stars. The two stars are there in Jude Bellingham and Vinny Jr. And the whole time the Mbappe saga is going on, and he, just basically fluffs us and says, you know what, I'm going to use you as to get a better contract. I thought that it was done. The saga was done. And we're going to get like Harry Kane. We're going to go for, I don't know, like Erling Haaland or even Julian Alvarez. Or
Victor Osimhen.
Victor Osimhen.
He's playing in fucking Turkey, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the best nines in the world is just playing in Turkey that we could have bought.
I've said it before. We've said it before on this podcast. So what happens then? Again, it's the reason I put a lot of blame on Florentino Perez, and I'm starting with him, is that it seems like for this recent time, we have just signed players that the world wants. Liverpool wanted Tchouaméni. And again, I'm not saying Tchouaméni hasn't been arguably one of the best players and one of the ones that I'd probably say, like, I would slate the least overall. I would say, he's done his job.
Xabi's really trusted him, and he's lived up. I mean, people still try to nitpick his performances. On the list of problems this team has, he might be like the 15th. Like, I don't.
Yeah, exactly. But we went and signed Tchouaméni because Liverpool wanted it, and then PSG or whoever wanted Camavinga from like Stade Rennais or whatever, and then we got him. And then Arda Güler was being touted by another team, and then we got him from over there and stuff. We're going to have to say that we didn't need Tchouaméni, because Tchouaméni and Camavinga, we needed midfielders, players in there. But the overall point I'm getting at is that we went from, obviously the Galacticos thing didn't work, but we still had an ethos in this time, especially with the Ramos and Benzema and Ronaldo era and stuff like that, where you'd sign the best players in the world. I understand you have to develop players, but let me give you an example. Like, again, this is not to slate Tchouaméni. I'm just saying because he's the first one that comes to mind. When we signed Tchouaméni, he wasn't a first-team national. He wasn't considered like one of the best players in the league. Comparing it to a player who people love to say right now, Mesut Ozil. Mesut Ozil played at Werder Bremen, but he was a first-team national. He was vital for the German national team. You see my point? So these players are getting pushed into positions that they're actually probably not that good or not ready for. So, it used to be, again, you bring in Bale, you bring in Isco, you bring in James Rodriguez, you bring in all these types of players. Now it's just, okay, who does this team want? Who does this team want? Who's really cool right now to sign or something like that? And then, again, because Florentino Perez had a hard-on for Kylian Mbappe, which the entire world saw that this is probably not going to work. You need to build, you have two stars right now in Vinny Jr., who you didn't expect, but sometimes it falls into your lap. For Ruben, as a Lakers fan, Austin Reeves. This guy's a star. Congratulations. Jesus Christ. Holy, man.
AR-15, baby.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
I would love to be a Lakers fan just as an NBA thing, just a tangent, because like the amount of things that just kind of sometimes fall into your lap, like the Luka Doncic.
Oh, buddy.
What the hell? Genuinely, what the hell?
We have never been one of the 5 best run front offices, at least not since Jerry West left, probably. And sure. we just get shit fucking
like crazy.
It just falls into our lap.
Yeah,
it's honestly, if I wasn't a Laker fan, I would hate them.
Exactly. So, sometimes things fall into your lap, and that's what happened with Vinny Jr. So, and then we had Bellingham there. So you need to build a team, and Fiorentino Perez needs to build a team around these two players and enable them. And you look at the team, and my God, the fact that Fran Garcia lives in Madrid is a fucking travesty. Guys, you can do anything. You can do anything. If you just set your mind to it and you believe and you honestly just fool some dumbass out there, they'll probably put you in a position that is levels above. God bless Fran Garcia. You know what? He's probably like a Girona or Elche level player, maybe in the Premier League. I don't know, for some bottom feeder team like West Ham or something like that. Like, he'll do great. But the fact that we were even looking at Kylian Mbappe when you have Fran Garcia and Ferland Mendy, who God bless him for what he did, but my God,
the ghost of Ferland Mendy now.
How is he always injured? I don't get it. How is he always injured? And again, this season we signed Alvaro Carres. Okay, I get that. You're genuinely telling me you're okay with having Ferland Mendy, who is never there, and Fran fucking Garcia as your left back. Danny Carvajal is getting older, where he's blowing his knees out. Like, again, okay, you signed Trent. That's great, but Trent isn't a defensively stalwart like right back. We know what he's great at. Trent is unbelievable at passing long balls and just being a dictator of play. That's amazing. But what are you gonna do when Trent can't play and he has no fitness? And then Carvajal can't play. Well, Antonio, yeah, thank God. Yeah, just take a player out of his best position and put him at right back for over and over and over again. Oh my God! Like, what needs to happen for them to realize that this is a problem? And yes, we love the free signings. We love the free signings of David Alaba. We love the free signings of Antonio Rudiger. Listen, Antonio Rudiger, he's a psycho. I love him. Yesterday's game was the epitome of Antonio Rudiger, that he's a great defender. He's incredibly physical. He can do well, but he's just a ticking time bomb. He will explode at any moment. This guy had one or two great seasons, or one great season at Chelsea when they won the Champions League or whatever it was, and the entire world just lost their mind. Their entire track record of what he did at Rome and all that, and just the way he used to play. This is Antonio Rudiger. Guys, he's getting old. Militao, again, he's gone. Again.
That's heartbreaking. He was playing so good.
So good. Unbelievable. He's gone. Why did Fiorentino Perez look at this team and not sign another left back, another right back, another defender? Ceballos. I'm trying to say it with a Spanish side. Ceballos. Danny Ceballos. Why the fuck is Ceballos still in this team? Why is Ceballos still in this team? We talked about what happened to the links? What happened to we don't have another 6 like after Tchouaméni. What happened to Angelo Stiller? Everybody I still see online says Angelo Stiller would fit great into Real Madrid. He's cost like 50 million and he would be that, number 6 ball player. What happened? What happened to it? No, but we have to sign Mbappe. No, we need Mbappe. We need Mbappe. Fuck everything else. Fuck all defense. Fuck the center backs, the aging center backs who are constantly injured, the left and right backs who are constantly injured. Fran Garcia is somehow a Real Madrid player. Danny Ceballos is somehow a Real Madrid player. Let's sign Arda Güler because the world wants him and he's cool and he's Turkish and he plays a few young balls. We don't need another 8. We don't need. Again, I said it for the longest time. Like Cruz, once he retired, it just basically like opened the floodgates to the problems. Now, to say that. If Cruz retiring is the problem for Real Madrid, let's just shut the doors. Let's just shut the doors for the club and just say, okay, thank you very much. That's it. It can't be that simple. Obviously, that is an oversimplification of the problem that is going on in Real Madrid. But my God, like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Fiorentino Perez went from being a witty and a smart president. We stole Figo from Barcelona. He got under the skins of Barcelona fans, and now look where we are. Genuinely, look where we are. Everybody, last season we were saying it too. We were also saying it. Hey, listen, all good things come to an end. The power of friendship comes to an end. We need someone with tactics, guys. We said it. Just because Carlo Ancelotti isn't going like this and fucking throwing Naruto hand signs on the sideline like Pep Guardiola doesn't mean that he's not a tactician. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. He looked at his team and he said, guys, we can only play a basic 4-4-2 and just use the power of friendship and pressing and players playing high and just doing that. And that's all we could do because this is what Fiorentino Perez gave him. This is what he gave him. This is the squad that you have built. And now I genuinely
Carlo Ancelotti won a Champions League with Joselu as the only true number 9 in his fucking.
And what does that what does that say? What does that say to this team? I think a huge amount of blame needs to go on Florentino Perez, because you have shattered this team's ethos. You had the perfect two play stars around them with Bellingham and Vinny. And we just need to shore up the defense better, and we need to possibly find a ball-playing number 8 or number 6. That's it. But no, we had to sign Kylian Mbappe, and now we are. I don't see a formation. With the only formation that I think it could work would be like a 4-3-3 with Bellingham as the false 9, and this is if Mbappe plays on the right.
Yeah, I've seen people float that. Yeah,
because I don't. The only other one that kind of worked, I have it here on FootMob against Athletic Club, was it was like a 4-2-3-1/4-4-2.
Yeah,
and once again, it was with Valverde on the right, like the season we won against Liverpool in the Champions League final, because Valverde can do that, because he can push up and down on the right, and he can kind of float into midfield. That can kind of work as well.
I do think, like, if Trent is healthy, Trent has to start at right back, and then Valverde as a right winger, because Valverde's biggest problem as a right winger is that he's not quite that great with like the crossing and some of that stuff, like, and he naturally kind of drifts into the middle. But if Trent is there providing that natural width already, and he pushes up so high just naturally, then like
you have your winger,
you don't lose out anything. And
but again, it's weird. We're shoehorning stuff. It worked against Bilbao, but that doesn't mean it's always going to work. Hey, like again, I think
Bilbao held PSG to a draw. I don't know if you remember. PSG has hardworking players that press and they aren't babies. So that that's like a win.
I got to put respect on Bilbao, because PSG is the best team ever, because they won a Champions League for the first time. Yeah, okay, well, been there, done that. Thank you so much. But yeah, okay, maybe that 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2, whatever the hell you want to call it, works. Okay, it works, but and like I see Ruben's point. It's like, bro, more and more you're going to be forced to sell Vinny. But again, it's like at the same time, he's on so much money. Who has the power to take him and the budget to take him? So we're just going to let him leave on a free?
The part is they're either gonna sell him for a loss, or he's gonna go on a free.
Yeah,
like, at this point, that's what's gonna happen.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Because like Saudi's not gonna come in for him the way that they did before, and he doesn't want to go to Saudi. And why would he?
Yeah, exactly. Like, bro, yesterday's game, like the performances should have shown Florentino Perez, like, yo, I fucked up again. Antonio Rudiger had no reason to like wrestling tackle Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland is the best striker in the world. You need 4 eyes constantly on him, and you think that you can wrap him around like that and just no one no one's gonna see that, and you're laughing at the end. Why the fuck is he laughing? This guy's definitely had a drop in form, and I'm not saying he's a bad player, but like against Celta Vigo, if I was Thibaut Courtois, I would have knocked him out. I genuinely would have knocked him out. If I was Courtois.
His form now reminds me of Ramos in his last year here, where it was very clear like Ramos was cooked. Like he kept taking unnecessary risks. Like just he got bailed out a lot by Courtois and by his other defensive partners. Yeah, it's ugly.
Yeah. Fran Garcia, we see how terrible this guy is, and I'm not trying to personally attack him, but he sucks. He's genuinely terrible. He has like 1 foot.
This is Stephen A. Smith on Kawhi Leonard.
Genuinely, he has 1 foot. He can barely get around players. He has no sense of defense, no sense of awareness. He's just hot-headed at random times. Why the hell is he in the squad?
Oh, when he got that red card, like Xabi Alonso's reaction, top 5 react, like what the fuck are you doing?
Like he's like, bro, you actually just costed me my job. Thanks, man. But like Raul Asensio, everybody I've argued with, Raul Asensio, guys, he had one fucking slightly good season when every single defender we had was bad. And you want to tell me that this guy is a first-team player? Raul Asensio is an academy player. He should be here against the bottom, like 15 teams in the league, never in the Champions League, only in like injury cases, and that's it. There was a period in the game when this guy, again, if he is the epitome of Ramos, you guys have no idea who the fuck Sergio Ramos was. This guy could not even like dust his shoes off. Like Sergio Ramos was a master of the dark arts, was a player who started at right back, who Jose Mourinho saw that he'd actually be better as a center back and used his physicality and his understanding of the game. And yes, he got a lot of red cards. Yes, he got all the yellow cards. He made stupid decisions, but his ability to get under players' skin and master the dark arts is something that a lot of people praised and a lot of people hated. And yeah, of course, you hate him. You hate him if he's not on your team, and you love him if he is. There you go. But Raul Asensio is nothing near Real Madrid quality. This speaks to the failure that Florentino Perez has done. There was a period in the game when he's constantly getting under Erling Haaland's skin, which God bless him for a guy who basically comes up to his like knees. Like, dude, you got some confidence, because I'm not doing that if I'm your height. And Haaland basically on a corner like shoves him like this, and he like spins twice like Asensio. I was like, what the fuck? He's that strong? Like, I actually got scared for a second. And I'm like, he's like, yo, sit down, kid. Like, know your levels. It's like, God, like, Perez, come on. What are we doing? Why did we fucking dilly-dally and just fucking play with our dicks in the corner and see who was going to move first between Crystal Palace and Liverpool? Why didn't we sign Mark Gahey? Genuinely, why didn't Mark Gahey get signed? I don't get it. I don't get it. But anyway, that's just on Florentino Perez. On to Xabi Alonso. Dude, again, I think you'd be a great manager at like Atalanta, at Wolves, at whatever, at somewhere else in like even realistically, I think he'd be great at Atletico Madrid. With the squad that they have and like the type of way that they play, I think that he would work. I think he'd probably get them.
I guess it's so hard for me to think of Atletico Madrid not with Simeone, because when you said that, I'm like, I don't know if their defense would like. Xavi hasn't shown that he can help a defense. That's like so I don't know.
But the problem with Xabi is that he basically tinkers everything for no reason, and then
he has Pep's worst qualities. Like,
yeah, and then let's backtrack. Okay, so this guy came in. He basically came in like chest out and everything, and he said, "Listen, I'm the boss. Don't fuck with me." And basically threw man management out the window and said, "You know what? Rodrigo wants to play on the left, and that's it. He's playing on the left. And Arda Güler is permanently starting in the thing. And if you piss me off, you're gonna be on the bench and stuff like that." Dude, you can do all those things, but you better stick to it. If you're doing that, then why the fuck is Rodrigo starting? When you said I don't need him anymore, I don't want to play him on the left. If that's the case, and Mastantuono is your right midfielder, why the fuck does he come out in one random game? And then why does Güler go on the right like that? He just does things and just backtracks on everything, and nothing makes sense anymore. It's like, what are we doing? Genuinely, what is your philosophy? Apparently, he's lost the dressing room. But with everybody says that all these players are prima donnas and they don't work and they don't do that and stuff like that. If that was the case, then they would have just played like shit yesterday.
We would have gotten hammered yesterday. Yeah, I thought we were, by the way. I thought we were going to lose 4-0. Like, I really...
100%. If I'm Vinny Jr., I'm like, fuck this guy. Get the fuck out of here. I don't need you. I've won shit before you. I'll win shit after you. I don't need this guy. That was, aside from the Barcelona game, that was the best performance. I get it, like we want wins, and sometimes
it wasn't perfect, but it was the best performance. Like,
exactly.
And again, people drive me crazy because I said that, right? I said that to one of my friends, and they're like, "Yeah, but you lost." I'm like, "Yeah, we've also only won 2 and 8." So like, I'm grading on a fucking curve, like
exactly. And like, you look at the other results when we won, and this is why this is when you can use advanced stats and you could play. When we won those games against Xabi Alonso, we didn't even advance stats to say these things. We were looking at, we're like, dude, we're winning. We're playing like shit. Nothing makes sense. It's gonna fall off, and it did. So we won yesterday, and everybody's saying, "Oh, these players." Every single player came out and showed up for Xabi Alonso and for this team. And they came out and they, like Ruben said, they came in press conferences. I have a great relationship with the manager, this, that, whatever, we're in a bad run of form, or get out of it, all this kind of stuff. All this kind of stuff. So I don't understand these is it just the press and the media coming out and saying that he's lost the dressing room, or is it that? The point that I'm trying to make with Xabi Alonso is that basically he is punching above his weight. Like Ruben said, you won the Bundesliga. Congratulations. Niko Kovac won the Bundesliga. Who the fuck is Niko Kovac? Genuinely. He manages Dortmund because he failed at Bayern. And he won 1 year with Bayern. Congratulations. The next season, what happened? What happened? Genuinely, for everybody says, "Oh, the Bundesliga." What happened the next season? He came second because every single team found him out. It wasn't the Bundesliga winning Bayer Leverkusen. It was a completely different team.
And I think people like, it's so interesting to me because like, and this is what I mean, like, and sometimes I know I can come off crazy. And Shayan, obviously in this situation, we're on the same side, like we're both Madrid fans. But Shayan has seen me argue on behalf of my Lakers, and I can come off kind of fucking crazy because like the Lakers are a very big organization and a lot of people take aim at them, and I'm always like, no, you guys don't. Like you're we get criticized in ways that other teams don't, and people overlook shit on other teams that they won't overlook for us. And nowhere do I feel that than with this Xabi Alonso talk, because I was thinking about that Bundesliga. I was like, do people forget how many of those games they won in extra time, or how many games they drew in extra time to stay on unbeaten? Like, not that diminishes the, it's a long season, these things happen, but I just find it funny that when Leverkusen rides their luck through a lot of the season at times to keep that undefeated record, last ditch, whatever, all this stuff, it's seen again, and I'm not criticizing it because I see it as winning mentality when Real Madrid do it. But when Real Madrid do it to the outside world, they're like, oh, they got bailed out. They were the worst team for 75 minutes, and then they only needed 15 minutes to win. Whereas when Alonso's team was doing it, there's a different tenor to it. It doesn't feel like it's luck. And I just don't like how we pick and choose, like, oh, it's luck here, it's not luck there. It's always some form of luck. You create your own luck.
100%.
You have to create these chances. You have to play the ball. You have to have the players in the position to take advantage of these things. So I just find like we're all hand waving, and I've seen these things now. People are defending Xavi, and they're like they're creating alternate fucking histories. Like I heard a podcast the other day saying that Zidane was like the type of man manager who would put his arm around everybody. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Zidane froze out players too. Like him and Bale didn't get along. Like
no.
Mourinho was a great man manager, but players who he's played under have talked about how he ices some and whatever, hot and cold. Like, not every man manager is the same. I think it's telling that, like, Xabi is following up probably the cuddliest one that we've had, but then why does Xabi have none of the skills of any of the predecessors that he's played under, where he knows how to, like, if you want to be Jose Mourinho, I can be a bad guy. Okay, there's a way to do that and still be a man manager. But
100%.
All of a sudden, everyone, like, I heard this revisionist history where, even Jose Mourinho, he's the type, really buddy with the players, blah, blah. I'm like, are we joking? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
you forget Iker Casillas?
Like it's not, it can't. But Xabi Alonso is the new media darling, and he's the new tactico that everybody wants to be good. And so now we're just going to try to bend our backs and bend the reality to make it feel like he is good. And so it's like, okay, the post I responded to on Reddit was saying, oh, look at how these players treat Xavi and compare that to how Haaland didn't blow up after he scored 5 goals and got subbed by Pep. I was like, well, much different scoring 5 goals in a game you're definitely going to win and being subbed off than in the fucking Clasico. But okay. And then it was like, oh, and what about KDB, who, like, he was on the bench more his last season? Like, yeah, KDB wasn't happy, and everyone knew that, but he was also old, and he knew he didn't really have much of a leg to fucking stand on. And then he's like, oh, or what about Grealish? Grealish happily played wherever he wanted to. I was like, he did not happily play wherever he wanted to. He was complaining the whole time, and there's a reason why he's loaned out to Everton now. And they're like, and what about Foden, who will play anywhere Pep asked him to? If Vinny had the year that Foden had last year, people would have fucking murdered him.
Yeah. There's levels. Like,
and so I'm just like, what are we talking about? Everyone's like creating this like fucking fan fiction where, like, in that same post, that person said, look at what Ruben Amorim did for Manchester United. He got rid of Rashford and Garnacho. I was like, Garnacho wanted to leave. They wanted to keep him, but he wanted to leave. He flipped off the fans. That wasn't Amorim putting his foot down. Garnacho wanted to leave. Yeah. They just asked him on the interview yesterday, hey, do you feel bad about how things happen in United? He said no. What the fuck are we talking about? Rashford wanted to go. He wanted to go. He didn't want to stay. Fucking and they were also pointing, look at Kobe Mainoo. Look at how he's handling Kobe Mainoo. Like, that's a negative thing for Amorim. Kobe Mainoo is an England international who many people agree Amorim is mistreating and mishandling because he's a young player with talent. These are the people that you think we should be emulating? Like, what are we talking about? And so it breaks my brain that people want Xabi to succeed so much that they're going to lie about Real Madrid or they're going to lie about what he's doing. Like, somehow Xabi Alonso can do no wrong to some people. It's like every bad decision he makes, well, it has to be the board. The board must have told him to sub out Arda Güler. The board must have told him not to start Arda Güler. Or, no. It's the board telling him that Rodrigo has to be the right. Like, what are we talking about, man?
Like, I think to build off of that, these narratives that people want to create, I genuinely want to ask people who think, again, I'm not saying that Xabi Alonso is just the problem. I think Florentino Perez also.
It's fucking all.
And the players, I'll get to them as well. They have definitely underperformed. But what are his tactics? The system was Mastantuono on the right and, Vinny on the left or Rodrigo on the left. And he had Bellingham and Valverde and Tchouameni, blah, blah. And it was a lopsided 4-2-3-1. What worked about that? What genuinely worked about that? And just every single game, it was, okay, bring in Arda Güler off the bench or do that. Guys, I understand that realistically in world football, managers only play a role to a certain extent. And the players on the field oftentimes will dictate and tell to a manager how you can play and what system you can play. And you have to be in control of the moods and the energies of these players. And realistically, you're managing a daycare with a lot of world football players. You're just managing personalities and you want them just to be happy. Look at Mo Salah. Genuinely look at the Mo Salah situation. He's just unhappy and everything's just going to shit right now. But my question with Xabi Alonso is that what are the tactics? Okay, so you want to play, basically, to summarize it, it's called pace and power. You want to play a high-pressing system that plays a lot on the counterattack. That's basically what he did at Bayer Leverkusen. You don't have that at Real Madrid. You don't have that. So in the Ronaldo era, Real Madrid pressed. But Ronaldo and Messi and those players, you could hide them or you could excuse them not pressing because of how good they were. And then before, when we had Benzema and Kroos and Modric and all those players in, we hid Vinny because Vinny didn't really press. Now you have Vinny who doesn't press, and you have Mbappe who doesn't press. First of all, as a coach, you cannot. Why do you have two players who don't press?
You can't.
And then if you do, you can't have that. But if you do, why are you playing that system? Why are we not playing a mid-block system? It doesn't work for Real Madrid. In games, we try to man mark. You do not have the players with the ability to man mark and high press, which you keep forcing it down. For all the people who love Arda Güler, what does he do well? Genuinely, Arda Güler, just like Raul Asensio, should only be playing against bottom 15 teams in La Liga, and should never be playing in the Champions League again, only against like some fodder, I don't know, like Kairat Almaty or Olympiacos. He's a travesty physically. He doesn't press. For all the players I mentioned who don't press, Mbappe, we know the player he is. Vinny, we know the player he is. Ronaldo and Messi are the best players of all time to most people. We can excuse them not pressing. Please explain to me why Arda Güler doesn't press. No, I'm asking why.
Oh, he just physically can't do it. Like,
exactly,
he just can't do it.
He can't. He's scared to do it. He knows he can't, so he doesn't do it. So he's a travesty physically. He doesn't press. He isn't quick. He can't. He has a decent first touch, and a couple times he plays a good pass. Why is he in this team? Why? Because we want him to match with Kenan Yildiz? I'll take Kenan Yildiz over Arda Güler any day. And
I was going to say, I do think Kenan Yildiz is a better player.
In every facet.
Right now, for sure. And I'm like, I think Arda can get better, but I don't think the way that Xabi Alonso handled this, where he just made him a nailed-on starter, and where there were plenty of games where he was getting overrun in the midfield, and he didn't do anything to stop it, like, I don't think that's helpful for the kid's development either.
100%. You've screwed this player because you've forced him down our throats, and half the fan base hates him. The other half thinks he's the next second coming of Mesut Ozil, which, again, I question these people who say that Arda Güler is the next Mesut Ozil and Raul Asensio is the next Sergio Ramos. Were you actually a Real Madrid fan, or do you just, like, what do you do on a day-to-day basis?
People just
Genuinely. And then his form has suffered. His form has suffered. So, would Xabi Alonso getting fired and would another manager coming in solve the problem? Maybe. I don't know. But the fact that, again, Carlo Ancelotti, one of the best managers of all time, had the same exact problems. And we have circled back to a 4-4-2, just like Ruben said, with the power of friendship, with Jude kind of on the wing and floating where he wants to, and then Vinny as a striker and Rodrigo on the right, and Valverde at right back, and all this same garbage we've had since last year. The fact that Carlo Ancelotti recognized that also, to me, shows that this squad has failed, and that's on Florentino Perez. To the players, I'll try and keep this as short as possible. A lot of you have played horribly. A lot of you. The only ones that I think have played really, really well. Mbappe scored a bunch of goals. Again, his big game thing presence has been awful. Why don't you press? Again, if
anyone should press, he should want this coach to stay because it's working for him.
Exactly. Gonzalo Garcia, for all the he made a couple mistakes last game. God bless him, because this kid
pressed his ass off
so hard. That's why it worked. That's why the 4-4-2 worked. Jude Bellingham has had an off season. And one thing I want to mention about with Jude Bellingham. Okay, let's say we have a team. Let's just say we have a team. We have a player like Mbappe who scores 30 to 40 goals, and no matter what we tell him, he doesn't go into the box. Okay, we've established that. You have two options. You either don't play him, which you can't because he's too good or he scores too many goals, or you tell the other guys behind him to go into the box. Why is Jude not running into the box anymore? That's on Xabi Alonso. Because the movement of the players is told by the manager. Why isn't Jude running into the box? Did you miss 23-24 season? Were you asleep? Did we not see that? Do we not have the tapes? Does Real Madrid not have tapes in the room? Why isn't Masantuono running into the box? Why aren't the players behind? Why isn't Valverde bombing into the box? This is on Xabi Alonso because he doesn't understand football at this level. But again, Mbappe's played well, but I've mentioned him. The only ones who I genuinely think have played really well is Alvaro Carreras because name me a better left back.
He's great. I think it's Nuno. I think it's him and Nuno Mendes holding hands at the top.
Yeah. Militao, God bless him.
Oh, he was playing so good.
I'm so sorry.
Take my knees, honestly. I don't even need them for that much. Like, just take my knees.
Yeah.
They probably didn't do that well for you, but
yeah, and I think Tchouaméni. I genuinely think outside of those, Vinny, he's been lazy. He doesn't press. You know, he's had issues finishing. Rodrigo has been a ghost for so many games until yesterday. And again, I'm not going to throw out like a lot of other people.
No.
But he's been terrible. Valverde's form has dropped off. Trent.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that he's playing fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
But
Carvajal and Trent are never fit. Another thing, just to go back on Xabi Alonso. Do you have to play Trent right when he gets fit? Do you not understand, like, bringing people in, like getting them fit again, getting them back up to max?
The rotations only matter for like three players, okay?
Exactly. It's like, dude, he gets
Vinny, who's never really had an injury history. He needs to be subbed off, just because it's a long season. Mbappe, who's been injured before, and Trent, who's coming off of injury. Or Militao, by the way, who we knew we were going to have a busy week of fixtures. Let's let him play 90 at fucking Celta Vigo.
Exactly. So, like, the guy is so vital to this system. We saw it in the 4-2-3-1 against the Athletic Bilbao, and his ability to make crosses and long balls and stuff. And the minute he comes back from injury, you play him a full game. Genuinely, like, Sam Allardyce probably understands, like, getting players back up to fitness level. Like, what are you doing? Same thing with Militao. Same thing with Camavinga and all these other players. Like, what are you actually doing? But again, to all these players, it's like, why are you not pressing? Why does it take you guys to go down to a one man down to have you to be able to push the press? Like, that was the sense of urgency.
Speaking on that game, so I was talking to my friend Graham, the Arsenal fan, and I was like, like, we lost this weekend, and Mbappe was also playing, and we looked worse. And he's like, you guys were down like two men. I was like, we surrendered the first goal before we were down a man, and we played better after we went down for Fran Garcia, which I don't know if that's a worse look on Fran Garcia, Xabi Alonso, or the players as a whole. I don't know who that looks worse on, but it was hilarious. Yeah. And then I was like, yeah. And then by the time like the second goal happens and the other sending off, then it's a clown show. But I was like, we played bad with Mbappe too. Like this is an all the time thing. Like, and that's where I'm like, look, yeah, the players deserve some kind of blame as well. But like, genuinely, man, this is grim. This is grim.
Like, I don't understand why it takes us going down a man to then be able to say, okay, now we have to play. Like, genuinely, why are we staring at defenders? Why is Rudiger looking at defenders and letting him do pirouettes around him? I don't get it. But this is a whole ethos issue. The players are underperforming because they don't believe in the manager. Yeah, because they probably won a lot, and what's the word I'm looking for? Complacency has probably gotten there a little bit. I think that exists. And, you know, that some players are having issues with the manager because of management issues and because of the lack of tactics or whatever we're here. And just because Florentino Perez doesn't know who to sign and when. So, like, genuinely, where do we go from here?
I'm
like, what do we do?
I genuinely think that unless Xabi changes some things, it's a lost season. Like, this is, you know what, if he really wants to prove he's a good coach, and I'm not even talking, like, everyone online is like, oh, he's got to make the big decisions. He's got to bench Vinny, or he's got to bench this person, or he's got to do this. And, like, everybody has their own pet player that they think is the problem, likewise the one that's the solution, whatever. I think genuinely he has to come to the table and be like, look, yeah, my way isn't working. So let's build a way together. And like everyone can sit here and this is I wanted to say this earlier about the players, like yesterday when we talked about doing this podcast, and then it slipped my mind earlier. But it's like everyone who says like, you know, these players are paid a lot of money and this is their job and they should just do it and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, okay, all of that is true. Like, you know, I think that I'm all about player empowerment, but at a base level, yes, they are paid to do this job. When you're at any job, if you have someone telling you to do shit that you don't respect or that you don't trust or that you don't believe is getting the job done in the way that it should be getting done, you're not going to work as hard and you're not going to do your best. That is a common human thing. And we can act like because these guys are drawing salaries in the millions, that somehow prevents them from feeling normal human emotions or having normal human responses to normal human things. But it doesn't. Add to the fact that these are fucking kids. Like, genuinely, a lot of these people are in their mid to late 20s. I was a fucking asshole in my early 20s. Man, I worked at a movie rental store. Talk about low fucking stakes. And we had a manager come in from a Blockbuster that had just closed like a couple months ago. And she was trying to tell me one day, or she would always be like, yeah, this is how we used to do it at Blockbuster. And I wanted to shake that bitch and be like, Blockbuster fucking closed. We beat you. Why are you telling me what are you doing at Blockbuster? This looks like fucking Blockbuster to you? And that's like, and because that's how I am, man. I grew up a sports person. I'm a loyal person. When I know I'm doing shit, and I back myself. People don't know. Like, I think sometimes I wonder if the people that comment on sports and are fans, like if they ever really played or what their relationship is with it. Because Cheyenne might know this as working in the industry as well, but I'll compare it to like serving. I see serving as a very competitive thing and a very like you know, because it feels very much like if I put in work, if I know how to do my shit, like I'll get more out of it, whatever, right? Like it's like I see it as an individual thing. Obviously, you're a part of a team and you want whatever, but I'm always like, I know that I'm a star and I'm gonna make sure I'm getting mine. So I think since a lot of people in the serving industry are like arts people because they're actors or they're doing other shit, whatever, people don't like confidence. I always tell people I'm the best server. Like I've worked at different jobs and sometimes people will talk, oh, do you think is a good server? Like, oh, I know I'm the best. And then people always get like shaken by it and they're like, what, I was like, oh, I'm the best. I don't make mistakes. I'm
sorry. I'll let you go on. I just got to step out for a second. We'll just put the thing over.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
So I always tell them like, oh, like I know I'm the best. I know I do my shit at a high level, and I know that that and I know that that there's nothing I can't handle, no matter how busy or slow it is or whatever. And I think that what people don't understand is like that's what being a professional athlete is you always have that confidence, that innate thing inside of you that tells you that you're the best, that you can get yourself out of these situations. We're not talking about normal people. These are the most competitive and most standout people throughout the majority of their lives. They've been the best player on most of the teams that they've ever played on. And then they get to the best club in the world and they have success. A lot of these players have had success. They've won Champions Leagues. They've won league titles. They've won Copa del Rey. So it's insane to me that people don't understand why these players would feel a certain way if they feel like someone's leading them down the wrong path. And I do think that ultimately you have to look at the manager and they have to be the one to bridge the gap. If they're not able to bridge the gap and get the players to really transmit their ideas or embrace their ideas, then they are what's wrong. You know, like it's so easy to coach in a certain way. Like it you know, it's not, there's only so many ways to innovate the game. There's only so many strategies. There's only so many formations. You know, the games are simple. These are kids' games. You know, we play them when we're kids. You play them until you die, and it's just a game. You're just putting a ball in a net, a ball through a hoop, whatever, a puck in the net. You're hitting the ball out of the park, whatever it may be. There's nothing really new under the sun. There's just new ways to package it, a new way to approach it, maybe slightly. But as a coach, especially at a high level when we're dealing with elite athletes, the biggest thing you have to do is give them confidence, allow them to be in their best positions to shine, and make it as easy and as simple for them as possible. I really believe that. The more convoluted you get and stuff, you start to lose people. And I think, again, even those reports, like everyone is somehow mad at the players and they're like, oh, you know, the players don't want to watch too many videos. The players don't want to do all this tactics and training or whatever. I just don't understand how people don't get that if you go from one thing to another, like 100%, no warm up, you don't even build a bridge to it, that it's going to be difficult. You know, it's asking a lot of these players, and it's asking a lot of anybody to change how you're operating, and without someone meeting you on the middle ground. So I don't know. It's not great for the issue of Xabi Alonso man management, because at the end of the day, he's the one. He's the one who has to make inroads. He's the new one in the dressing room, and he's the one that is trying to get his ideas heard and executed. So he owes them the respect of trying to work with them, and not just as an antagonist, or not just as someone who believes that he can't be wrong.
Yeah, to build off of that, I guess we could go like what the possible solutions are, because to me it's like
I guess like you said, I'll ask, like, what do you think the solutions are? And also, like you said, you've been arguing about who should stay, who should go. Who are some players that you think aren't long for this squad long term? Like, if Xavi stays, which, like, let me say this: I don't think Xavi's getting fired. I don't think Xavi's.
I think he has till Christmas.
See, I think that Florentino Perez wants this to work, and I think it's clear that Mbappe, at the very least, likes Xavi, partly because of how good he's performing, right?
Yeah.
And if what I think is true, that Mbappe has now become the most important player in the dressing room to Florentino Perez, he's not going to get rid of a coach that his guy likes. He's not.
Yeah, that's fair.
It would have to get really bad.
Yeah, like, and apparently it was because the fact that like Celta Vigo, like Bilbao, if we didn't perform against them, that was like
people kept saying,
yeah. And then there was the whole Celta Vigo like debacle, and then yesterday against City, if we performed horribly and got like waxed like 4-0, apparently you would have got sacked. It's tough to say what's true and what's not because again. Apparently, Vinny came out and said, "I will not sign a new contract until Alonso is here." Apparently, Bellingham had lost like faith with him. Same thing with Valverde and who knows what other players. But when you say the players come out and speak the way they did and perform the way they did, now I sit aware of what is true. Was there some tough times and those things were true, and now they're kind of like, "Fuck it, let's just like figure this out." I don't know, maybe.
I think the
certain players still not like him.
I'm sure some players still don't like him, but I think the easiest way to put it is like, bro, like some of these leaks are probably their friends or maybe their agents.
Yeah,
and like,
agents. Yeah.
What if they're just complaining? Like,
yeah,
I complain too. I come home and I'm like, I fucking hate this person. I hope they get fired. Like, I don't like, but you mean it in the moment. You mean it in the day. You're like, oh, I can't fucking work with this guy. I mean, when we were at CSM, there were times you do the fucking TV show, and you're like, I don't want to name any names. I was almost gonna, but you get someone in a role that that they're not particularly suited for or strong. You're like, holy fuck, man! This like we had a perfect show. They could have been way better. I never want to work with that guy again. Like it. But you don't mean it. Like sometimes you mean it. Sometimes
you can't. It does, even if you do, it doesn't mean that you can't come back from it.
100%.
And so, who do I think like should stay, and who do I think should go? I don't think any of. I think the front three, the front four, I think has to stay. Realistically, like, because name me better players. Genuinely name me better players than Rodrigo, Vinny, Bellingham, and Jude. Rodrigo's the only one. Maybe you could, and it's like maybe you can find like a right midfielder type of player rather than the winger because we don't really play with a right like winger. I don't know. I guess like someone like an Eze. I don't maybe.
Yeah, but Eze is at Arsenal. He's not.
No, again, like just to draw a comparison, but
they
wouldn't sell him and anything. But again, like I think Chouameni belongs in the system. Camavinga belongs in the system. I think we need another center back.
We need like two.
Someone
like
two.
Maybe even fucking three at this point.
Yeah,
but
like I love a Gehi. Schlotterbeck. Apparently, we like ball playing center backs. Schlotterbeck at Dortmund. I know like a lot of people don't think he's that good. I think he's pretty good. I actually rate him kind of high. But
as long as it's not Ugarte.
Yeah, please. But yeah,
Konate.
Again, Asensio, Fran Garcia, leave my team and never show your face in the city of Madrid again. Ceballos, thank you for your performance yesterday. You finally learned what it's a center midfielder and a double pivot supposed to do. God bless you. It took you 14 years, but finally you figured it out. Probably
he wanted to leave this summer too.
Yeah.
And Xavi told him to stay.
We had an out because he's Spanish or some shit. Fuck
off. That's basically it.
So Ceballos, my team. Ceballos. Leave the team. Ferland Mendy, dude. God bless. Like fucking. Maybe, I don't know. Be a coach. Like
you had a moment. We'll always love you.
Yeah.
Rest now. Enjoy Valhalla. We got the watch.
Exactly. Like those players are done. Xabi Alonso must see something in Arda Güler that the entire world and the fan base who is on our side doesn't see in him.
People are really high on Arda Güler, and I don't get how still.
I explained it. He's bad at every physical sense. He's bad defensively. He doesn't press. He has a decent first touch, and occasionally he plays a couple good through balls. Any player in the world who's an average midfielder or number 10 could do that. I don't get it. I'd love to see him loaned out. Definitely probably not going to happen. He's probably in the squad. I don't want him in there. I prefer Mastantuono over him because at least he presses and at least he has a physical presence.
And Mastantuono looks like he's going to grow into that body. He's also an Argentinian player. Like he's a very feisty guy. He's got that dog.
Yeah, he has that dog in him. So, yeah, I mean, those are the players that I think Trent has to be a starter. Carvajal needs to be a bit part player, basically, at this point.
I think he's done after this year.
He's basically done. We need another right back. We need at least 2 center backs. And again, we need another defensive midfielder. But the players in the squad that I think should stay, basically, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde, all the front four, Huijsen, Militao when he's fit, Carreras, and Trent. And obviously Courtois, who's like, God bless him, or else we'd be in like 15th.
It's crazy because, like, I think back to the team that won like the Champions Leagues and stuff, like 3 in a row and stuff, and I loved Keylor Navas. I thought Keylor Navas was a good, he did what he had to do. If that team had Courtois, I don't know if they ever lose a game.
Yeah, that's fair. They probably go
because
the double save yesterday alone. If you just want to see how good he is, the double save against Holland, and then I think it was Nunes or whoever shot the other one. Like, I think
the entire time Courtois has been here, we may have had like a good defense like 1 year or like a year and a half. Like again, every other year, it feels like.
Please just look at the Rudiger's performance against Celta Vigo, and if Courtois literally went and like knocked him out cold, I would be like, yeah, fair. Honestly, fair.
You know what? You earned that one. That's okay.
Yeah. Like, and to again, who doesn't belong in the team, Raul Asensio. God bless you. Get loaned out. I don't want to see it. There was a play when to explain his level, so you understand why I think he's so bad. Doku is an evolved, really great player. Who I have to eat shit. I thought he was overrated as fuck. He was in my over 11. Great player. He turned into a very good player. So he basically runs really quick. Asensio keeps up with him, kind of. He beats him on one side with pace, stops, and beats him on the other. That's your level, kid. That's your level. And God bless you. You'll probably be a good defender. I think you're an academy player who I think, if you're asking me right now how I feel about him, I think you'll be a good, not world-class, not great defender. Like a Nacho Fernandez, I think is probably his ceiling, to be honest. I think like that's probably his ceiling.
At the very least, we agreed that he should not be a regular starter right now for Real Madrid.
Yeah. But that's your ceiling, man. And to all the Raul Asensio Glazers, like, did you see what else needs to Doku?
Oh man,
yes, he beat him with pace. Okay, he beat him with pace. All right, okay, he beats everybody with pace. He stopped and then beat him again.
Doku yesterday also, in my mind, like, I know Valverde can do a job on the right and he was doing his best, but like he was abusing Valverde. So it was also a good for the camp of people that are like, no, Valverde's best position is actually right back and we should just keep playing him there. No. When he plays a right winger that can actually do multiple things, he's getting put on toast. Like he was. Like, Doku was getting past the two of them at times so easily. I was genuinely like, this is awful. This is a tough watch. Like, it's a tough watch because Doku was just skinning him. Like, Valverde had to pull out every trick in the book. His tackles were great. He was hanging in there. He was being very, very physical on the line. Like, don't get me wrong, Valverde, he can hold his hands up, but Doku was having his way with those two.
100%. So what I think has to be done with this team, because let's just say Xabi Alonso is not getting fired and he stays. Okay, so what do? I said it earlier. The team, your players often dictate the way you can play or the way they can play. You have to listen to that. We are week 16 in the league phase. 16 weeks we are into the season. And this guy has basically looked at this team and said, no, fuck that. Fuck how you think you guys are telling me we should play. We're going to play my way. It doesn't work. It sucks. So he either needs to play the 4-4-2 like he did yesterday or the 4-2-3-1 against Athletic Bilbao. Those are the only formations. And again, the selection of players has to be exactly the way it was, again, yesterday, based off of fitness and based off of availability and suspensions and red cards and all that, but has to be correct again as well. Another thing that we have to establish is one of the things that you said in the beginning is that what is the philosophy? Is it that we brought in Xabi Alonso and for a few years we've been going away from the quote-unquote Galacticos big signing things. We sign young players and we develop them. And now we're going to bring Xabi Alonso, who apparently is the epitome and the greatest manager at developing young players and young systems. If that's the case, that is fine by me. Just say it and let's be clear so I can temper my expectations. And
we're going to be bad. We're going to be
I'll
bad.
have to be okay for not with losing for a while. and it's going to take 4 or 5 transfer windows, and Vinny's probably going to have to go. Rodrigo's probably going to have to go. I don't know. Probably not Bellingham, probably not Mbappe, but maybe.
But you can never put it like I think the only one of those like Mbappe's not ever going to get sold. Like if he leaves, it would be by his own volition.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Bellingham, I could see him being sacrificed at the altar of this if they really wanted to. I wouldn't agree with it, but like, man, you're telling me he wouldn't happily go to the Prem? His game fucking translates great there. He's strong and fast. Again,
it's like you have these players on these massive contracts, and again, unless you let them go on a free, which for Vinny is the only one who's recent, but you just signed Bellingham. Who's going to buy him on these wages? And again, how are we going to give up on these players? So I think that's definitely not probably the route that they're going. I think he said that, Fiorentino has probably talked with Alonso and said you have to succeed with these players. So I think we need signings. There has to be signings in the winter. If we have another one where we just sit on our ass and count our fingers again and just go get another free transfer, we're fucked. We're genuinely fucked. Worse than it is now. We need center backs. We need left backs. Everything. God knows what's going to happen there. But we have to put these players in the positions to win. And maybe you can bring in other players to fit your system a little better, and we can press a little bit more, and we can play on the counterattack a little bit more. But the team has showed you how they can play. Fiorentino Perez has made his signings and has created a broken squad, and this is the way that they can play. So again, unless, which I don't think is happening, is that we're saying it's a youth movement, and Xabi Alonso, here's the keys and take us to the promised land. We have to enable the players we have right now to play in the best positions. And we've seen it against Bilbao. And we saw it yesterday, even though we lost. I'll end on this note, and I'll let you go if there's anything else you want to add. But City played well for like 20 minutes. If you actually watch football and they played well for 20 minutes. Bernardo Silva is ass.
Oh, yeah. No,
the fall off of this guy is insane. What is going? Like, I get it. City's in transition, and Pep is after he becomes like, "Oh, we are not ready. We are not ready." There's some reporter asked him like, "Oh, like you a win against Real Madrid. Like, what does that say about you being able to win the Champions League?" No, we are not ready. We are not. In January we come. In February we come back. We will be building it. But the squad is getting better. And okay, City played well for 20, 30 minutes. 100%. If Rudiger didn't lose his mind and Haaland doesn't draw a penalty, we'd probably win that game.
Two easily avoidable goals. Too easily avoidable.
Yeah.
Goals. Too easily avoidable.
If Jude doesn't chip it or slides it across to Gonzalo Garcia.
Oh my God! I mean, Vinny, like we're giving Arda a hard time. There was the one off the cross. Vinny, he could have kissed it in. Mwah, if fucking would have got it in the net.
So
these are the sliding doors moments. No, we never want to be Pep or Barca being like, no, we were the better team, guys. If you look, but we were, but it just didn't finish. But it's telling that we were the better team playing the Carlo Ancelotti system.
If I wasn't upset. I'm at like the stage where I was like, I'm done being angry and crying, and I just laugh, and I'm like, we're back to everybody, and we weren't as bad, I think.
No,
saying that Ancelotti out and tactics. We need tactics. I think we acknowledge that Mbappe was a problem.
We always said Mbappe was a problem. We acknowledged that Ancelotti did have tactics. I think, and I still agree with what we were saying that like it was time for Ancelotti to go. I do think his message was getting stale. I don't think he would have, and especially because look, the difference between Mbappe last year and this year is genuinely that he now has a manager that knows that his fate is tied to him and he wants to get the most out of him. While Ancelotti may have known that to a certain point, Ancelotti still had his guys. Like Rodrigo got so much more leash last year. He got none this year. Mm-hmm. Why? Because Ancelotti loves Rodrigo for what Rodrigo did to him. How could he not? Like Rodrigo won this man two champions. I mean, like the Manchester City tie alone is like, Carlo's going to remember that. Like they say when you're on your deathbed, like your life flashes before your eyes. I know that I will definitely hear Peter Drury fucking commentary Manchester City Rodrigo goals before I die. That's going to be in the highlight reel. So I'm sure Carlos got it there. Like, so, it's just, it was time for him to go. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm with you, man. For me, I'm always like, just tell me what the remit is. Tell me what to expect. Don't try to sell me that we're going to be the best team in Europe, and then we're trotting out fucking Raul Asensio and Frank Garcia, because it's just not. That doesn't line up. It just can't. But we'll see. I think Ancelotti. I think Alonso has a lot. Has a lot to do, and the players do too. But you know what I mean? Like we could be getting to a point where, like, if the players keep performing well, or like, you know, trying their best to perform in this system, and it's still not coming off, Ancelotti, Alonso will start hearing more and more Alonso out.
Yeah, I think the squad is good enough to play well, and the result against 100%. Yeah, I think that, like, if you want a full strength team that I think is the squad, it's the squad against Bilbao. I think you have to play that system. That is the best one.
Too bad that not be anywhere near. Trent got injured right away. And Militao's dead, but no, I genuinely think it's
like Goulet not anywhere near this team. Frank Garcia not anywhere near this team and this city. There should be a mass exodus on Frank Garcia. Ceballos as well. Who else was I going to say? No, I said Goulet. Raul Asensio, don't get anywhere near this team. But they can win and they can play well. And you just have to enable them to do well. We need signings. We need defense.
I would love it. Again, if Florentino Perez really cares about Xabi Alonso and wants us to succeed, buy Mark Gahey in January.
Dude, back him.
Like, genuinely, if that happened, if Perez put money where his mouth is on this, I would even feel better. I'd be like, you know what? Fuck it. Okay. I'm all in. If you believe in Xavi so much that you're going to actually fucking front up some money, and we get fucking send out Garcia on loan, send out this person on loan, bring in Gahey, bring in another left back, give me something. Like, bring in a right back. Fucking, you know, like, just anybody. A warm body at this point.
Who else needs to get injured? Like we saw Tchouaméni at center back against Atletico. It wasn't great, to say the least. And again, I don't think putting him there, unless it's like a 5-back formation, you play him as like a libero intentionally, which apparently he was going to play Xabi Alonso, but I've never seen it this season. I think he played it once.
He played it once, yeah. I mean, there was a time last night during the game where it was...
Yeah,
they played a back three, but it was by that point it was not even.
But who do me and Ruben need to get a first class ticket to Madrid and just fucking put on our jerseys and play at center back for this guy to realize we need signings. We need investment is needed. I don't know. So all this to say,
Ruben Chavez game-winning header at the Camp Nou will feed the streets.
We're second in the league, and I'm just pulling up the Champions League standings.
8th, I think, 7th, 8th.
We're 7th, but like for all this PSG talk, like we were saying, they're only 1 point ahead of us.
Yeah.
So, has it been terrible? Yeah, it's been pretty shit. But also to people who are like, oh, but like you were saying, like, oh, but you know. At Liverpool, it's like this. At United, it's like this. Guys, I'd love to be a Liverpool fan and not win the league for 30-something years, and just be okay with that. We have the blessing and the curse to support a team that if you don't win everything every season, it's a problem.
Jamie Carragher is legitimately a Liverpool legend. He never won the league. He won like 1 Champions League, and he has 7 own goals.
We'll talk about it on Sunday, but
Mariano Diaz has more Champions Leagues than that guy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about?
We'll talk about it on Sunday, but the way he went in against Salah and then he
some of the shit he said was disrespectful. Like he was coming from the right place, but he was
Egypt. You won nothing with Egypt. I'm sorry. Where did you get? Not only did you win, where did you get within England?
He wasn't even good enough to make the England squad consistently. Like Salah
was a failure before he came to Liverpool. Fair. was Liverpool knocking down doors and winning titles before Salah got there?
Salah was really good at Roma. Like, we're erasing that part of his career too.
Yeah, exactly. So for people who say, "Oh, like you're just a Jamie Carragher hater," and like, why do you always bring him up? Because he's a fucking idiot.
He says some stupid shit.
Stupid shit. But anyway, we went really long on this one.
This was a long one. It'll be fun to edit. So, there were some episodes we did that I don't know if we're going to release, but this one will be the first one we'll release in a while. Yeah. Just because, like, so much stuff has passed. Some of those files got corrupted. But, we're going to try to be more consistent.
Yeah.
Once January comes, that's generally a slow time for restaurants, so we'll probably have more time on our hands in general. We thank you guys for watching, though. If you have any thoughts or opinions on Xabi Alonso, Real Madrid, or anything else,
Fran Garcia.
Fran Garcia. We're starting a GoFundMe for Shayan to go to the Bernabeu to tell Fran Garcia to his face that he sucks.
Yeah.
You can find the link below in the description.
Honestly, probably a great guy. I don't dispute it. Probably a great guy.
Somehow that was the funniest possible thing you could have said.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the vibes are probably high with this guy. Like, I feel like he's a fun guy to be around. And if we went out on a night,
I'm sure that I can hang out with Fran Garcia and enjoy myself greatly.
Yeah.
I want that man nowhere near my club.
Please leave and never come back. Thank you and good night.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next time. Touchline Banter.
Take it easy.